born black, I'ma die black. Tell Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find that. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team. I was born black, I'ma die black. Tell Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find that. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team.
Worldwide.
This African team,
yeah.
This African team.
To control back, so I'm scratch that. Trying to get ahead, so I map that. Yeah, I'm tapping in, it's a Scott that. And we ain't no kin unless you African. I'm so loyal to the victor, go to sports. You running out of time, melanin rules the world. Trying to get what's mine, so you know I'm such a pearl. Staying on my grind, AfuNation in your world. Shimmer when I shine, lead in the line. Yeah, I know I'm fine, got blessed from behind. Sun kissed in the morning, course hanging down my spine. Linked to the source, so I'm rooted to the vines. Indie but major, we hot like potatoes. Freeing the slaves, they cannot contain us. African power, they never can shame us. Taking what's ours, who cares if they blame us?
I was born black, I'ma die black. Tell Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find that. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. Worldwide, this African team, bruh. This African team. Black burner, call me Nat Turner. I've been on the run, so please don't push me to murder. I might take it one step further, cause I'm a cosmic observer since I've been young, been an earner. So toxic, I just might burn you with it. AfuNation getting deeper than your average teacher. They beat you with false information, this country eat you. Jack Reacher, never been a preacher, but you in the game. I can take you out the bleacher, ain't no need to be in shop. You a real black speaker from MA back to the side. In LA, we gon' need ya. Boots up, it's time to troop up. Born black, I'ma die black, that's the truth, yup. We want seats at political tables. You can keep your Grammys, just stop telling fables. Cause we young black owners of our own labels. Self-publishers, writers, producers, we won't pay you. I was born black, I'ma die black. Tell Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find that. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team. I was born black, I'ma die black. Tell Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find that. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team.
Peace. I almost made the mistake and I was talking while I'm muted. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep, namaste, Jambo, Ashe, Shalom, Shalom, doing Tur, all the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napah Shadah. This is my dear sister, DJ Genesis of Alchemizing Energy, and you're about to join us for a very, very beautiful sit down. We're going to speak to our sister, Lady Keair of AfuNation. I like to give you a hand. I know everybody has a sound effect, so we be doing live and realism. I want to say thank you for joining me. It's been a long time coming. You're also Coach K, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But first, I need to talk to you about this amazing music. Okay. Was that you? Was that you?
Yeah, that was definitely me. Me and my husband, Devon, which is Afu Keair, of course, hence the name AfuNation. It was his baby initially, and then when we got together, we took it to the next level.
I love it. I love it. So, we've been talking about doing a sit down, an interview. You and I have been speaking about this for what now? Almost a year. Have you been around for a year? It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been around for a year, but yeah, we've been talking about doing it at least for probably maybe about 6 months now, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, you're amazing. Before we get into speaking to you, I want Genesis to come in. I do my sit down with my little witch cup. I'm drinking, y'all don't get mad. I'm drinking Coke Zero. Oh my God, it's poison. I know it's poison. No, but my son loves it. So I want to see, why does he like it? So I'm drinking a little of that. Genesis, hello. Come on in, introduce yourself and get comfortable and let us know what you're sipping on.
Hello, Miss Genesis. How you doing?
Water. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just did the interview with Trey 963. That was a pretty good about the carbonation and the whole thing, and it's a pretty heart wrenching story what happened to her, and yeah, I hope that she gets justice.
Right. And you know what? That's interesting. We're going to talk about this
I
with
burped.
Coach K because we're going to talk about how women are. We know men, listen, we're not discounting our brothers. This is we're wives, mothers, sisters, daughters of men, but we're going to talk about women and we're going to talk about your retreat. Coach K, I know you as Lady Keair, but you're Coach K. You're Coach K.
Yeah.
So tell us about your mission, and then I'm going to start sharing some of the flyers. But first, we talked. Look, there's so much.
Yeah.
We got to fit it all in.
It's
We'll
a
come
lot
back
to
to the music.
talk
Put in
about.
the back burner. I'm cooking the
Right.
food. Okay, talk to us
Right.
about your mission. Why are you Coach K?
So yeah. So my story. So basically, I got into trauma coaching
Mm,
due to my own personal experience, childhood traumas, as well as domestic violence with my
wow.
kid's father, not my husband, of course, but my kid's father. Um, and during my pregnancy, I was kind of in transition with my last daughter, who's 4 years old now. Um, and so I was kind of in transition. Me and him were going through a lot of stuff, and it's just crazy because as I'm going through these things, and I'm praying and I'm trying to figure out what to do because I'm in this situation that is clearly unhealthy and toxic,
Mm,
abusive, verbally, physically, pretty much everything you could think of,
yeah.
for the most part. And I came across an ad on Craigslist, um,
Mm,
for this company called ARCS. It's Abuse and Recovery Coaches. It is a nationally accredited and certified company that was initially started by licensed
I think it's
therapists.
here too. If I recall, I worked with ARCs before, but
Yeah, well, they have a big online system, and majority of our schooling, I taught for them as well. So that's how I really got
wow.
to the teaching program. But I initially started as a student who was just trying to go through the trauma. And the difference with this particular program is that they actually are taking people who need to heal themselves, and they're giving you the opportunity to go out and help others with that certification once you complete the program. Um, like I said, I was pregnant. I was going through things. So it honestly took me about almost 2 years to complete what was supposed to be a 9-month program because it's self-paced. But it's awesome with it being self-paced because it allows you to actually go through the exercises and actually do your real shadow work to dive into yourself to actually get to the root and the source of your trauma. Because a lot of us, of course, are living our lives not really knowing why we're living the way that we're living because we don't understand the source of our trauma nor how to actually realistically address it. So the program is set up for you to actually be your first patient. So I had to actually take myself through that process of the shadow work, dealing with all the different things, all the different family members that may have, offended me at some point. You have to address these things because some things are deeper than others. Some things you're able to um, get that sense of closure from. Some things we end up having to let go and, let God. But that's how I ended up being a coach. I took this awesome program that gave me an awesome opportunity. I was able to, I taught with them before I started my private practice. I taught with them for about 2.5 years, of course, to get that experience of really dealing with clients and teaching people about, how and to address your traumas, whether it be from abuse or addiction, because the program pretty much tackles
Right.
everything. And it just kind of went from there. I started my own practice about 3 years ago. I initially had a storefront in Statesville, North Carolina. Um, but COVID hit and all those things happened. A lot of things had to close down. So I ended up taking my show on the road. I have a lot of private clients now who I go and deal with directly in their homes, or people that I do talk to over the phone, or via the internet, that type of thing, to assist them, with making their journey into healing.
Wow. Thank you for that intro. That's great. You gave us a lot of information that we as a community and having you a part of us, we don't know that about you. So now
Right.
You have said little bits and pieces here about you doing working with women. But do you just work primarily? I'm going to show your retreat information, but do you primarily work with women who are coming out of or trying to get out of DV situations?
It's a little bit of all the above. Most of them, yes, are coming out of domestic violence, or either they're dealing with the trauma from past sexual assaults. But then there's the other group of women who are in recovery from addiction.
Addiction, which also link together though, right? Can you
Exactly. They
talk to us about
definitely.
how they're usually what come hand in hand?
Well, it can be tricky because everybody who is on drugs hasn't necessarily been sexually abused,
Right.
or went through some type of childhood trauma. But the statistics show that most people who have experienced childhood trauma generally end up abusing
Right.
and having some type of recreational, addiction to some type of drug,
Hmm.
or either it could be a lot of things, because everybody doesn't necessarily go to drugs. Some people, um, they go and they make other things toxic that could be healthy, whether it be exercise, overeating, emotional eating,
Sex
um,
addiction.
sex addiction, exactly. Which is, part of my own story initially coming through childhood, dealing with my own, sexual trauma. So
Do
I
you
was,
feel comfortable sharing that with us? I mean, just
yeah,
as much as you
I,
can to help
yeah,
others out there. I mean, I know how, disclaimer, sadly, I have to say this because I care about you. You know how the internet is.
I know.
So be very
But
careful on the surface, but I'd love to hear a little bit of your basic backstory for those who need that.
Well, like I said, I'm from out of North Carolina, small family, big family in the South, rather, very close knit, for the most part. But unfortunately, within a lot of families here in the South, you got those swept under rug secrets.
Oh yeah, not
You
just
know,
the South. It seems like something with Black families and
yeah,
Latino families.
right, right.
But
You
go
got
ahead.
those closets, that lie
Yeah,
within the family that's full of those skeletons that nobody wants to talk about, or people just chose to forget about.
right.
But myself, it's kind of there's a cycle of abuse that's happened over time. My mother was molested as she was a younger child,
Mm.
by someone that was a close family member.
Mhm.
I the same thing, and these are all internal situations that we've had to deal with. Myself personally, I was abused by an older cousin when I was 8 years old,
Right.
and he was 16. So and it was a very confusing thing, because
Mhm.
when you're that young, I got to a point maybe in between the age of 8 to 12 where I kind of blotted that out, of my mind. It was something that I just didn't really think about, but of course it was obviously affecting me, because I technically, when you look at losing your virginity, it's based on being,
Oh wow, you
it,
lost your virginity in that way. I'm so
no, no,
sorry.
well, I was 8, so technically,
I get what you're saying
like,
as a child, but
but
can I jump in and just say this? And I love your flow.
mm,
We don't talk enough about child molestation.
right,
That really that usually just the whole family doesn't want to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
when it's 16, even 10, even 16, 14, they're
right,
like, well, so I want you to come back to that and talk about how we need more attention on that. But go ahead, I'm
right,
sorry.
right.
So you said you lost your you well you that was
Yeah,
your
I'm
first
trying to figure
sexual
out where did I
experience.
stop at, because it
You
threw me
said
off.
your first sexual experience was at 8 years old,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, and that was it with the other
And by the way,
cousin.
children leave the rooms. This is not a children's show. So
Right,
sorry I didn't say that at first, but go
right.
ahead.
What I meant to connect to that is because of that, at 8, by 11 I was in consensual, activity
Right.
with people, because
Oversexed.
exactly,
Oversexed.
because now by that
Oversexed.
time,
Classic.
yeah, so that's when, the consensual thing comes in. And I don't think, probably up until I had my oldest daughter, which was probably about 20 years old, before I was able to really readjust my crown and start to really,
Mhm.
look at myself. You know what I'm
How
saying?
old did you have your oldest daughter?
I had my oldest daughter when I was, well, at 20. I got pregnant with her at 19, but I had her at 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, but after that, I later experienced at the age of 16 myself, I later experienced a homeboy that basically, well, somebody that I thought was a homeboy. He was a friend of my friends, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no.
And but being that, like I said, I was in a promiscuous state, so you go off with people thinking you're cool with them, those types of things,
Yeah.
and then that was another incident, of sexual assault at the end of the day.
So
um
he it was an essay, which is it's what we'll say essay for
yeah, but
sexual.
and the only thing that kept that from really being a really, really, really beat up type of situation is the fact that, regardless of what he was trying to do, and I guess that was the universe looking out for me. He couldn't get himself erect.
Oh,
So he was trying to make it
this
happen,
is a horrible.
but it
How
couldn't.
old were you?
I was 16 at the time. I think he was.
So
I,
it was a violent situation.
yeah, because I'm being held there against my will.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And
Wow.
so he basically wouldn't let me leave until he tried what he wanted to try, but
I'm
it wouldn't
so
work. It
sorry to
wouldn't
hear
work.
that.
It wouldn't work. So
Oh
you know
wow.
but the reality is, and I
Wow.
can honestly say, because of how our community operates and things of that nature, I didn't say anything, to anyone. I just stayed away. um and those are part of the issues, of course, when you go through those type of traumas and you keep those type of things to yourself, and you're dealing with those type of secrets internally. um, you're afraid
Doesn't
to
help.
tell people because of judgment, or you're afraid that they'll turn it on you, and make it seem as if you have some fault in the situation. And when you're young, you'll feel like you have some fault in the situation.
Yeah.
You'll find a way to make it seem like, well, maybe if I hadn't have did this, or maybe if I hadn't have went over there, or
Well, the main thing that you're told is, oh, you shouldn't have dressed like that, or you're fast. And
it,
even in your mind, you're saying, well, I did have sex with this person and that person, not even relating it to sexual, to the SA,
right,
not even relating it to that. So I could imagine that you really blamed yourself a lot, which a lot of women out there are doing, and young
right.
women.
And that's why it took me so long, basically being in my 30s, before I was able to really
Yeah.
address any of that childhood stuff, because you just kind of sweep it under the rug. The cousin, like, even with the cousin, I didn't tell my mother them then. Back then, I didn't tell them. I told one of my cousins, and she ended up telling some of my family. And so that's a whole nother story in itself, because at the end of the day, when people kind of got the word of what may have happened, no one really moved on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are part of the reasons why I didn't really talk to people, because in my family, you can't couldn't really always talk to people on those type of levels, especially when you're talking about people's nieces and nephews who they love as well. And
Yeah.
then
Their
it's
children.
it's one of my favorite uncles, sons.
Damn.
It was just a really complicated
That's
situation.
horrible.
And as an 8-year-old, I just chose to blot it out.
So
You're
let me get to you. Let me ask you. Take a minute. What you say you were sipping on? I'll remember. You didn't
Oh
show
yeah,
anything.
and you didn't ask, but I just got a bottle of water, because you know what?
Yeah, drink some water, because I mean, after hearing that, I don't know about everybody else, but
Yeah,
you're such a beautiful person. To hear that kind of pain and trauma in your past is a lot. And so I'm really, first, my heart goes out to you. I want to ask you this. You didn't take your sip though. I need you to take a
Yep.
sip of water.
Let me take the cap off.
You need to take a little sip, because it's gonna be, whoo, Lord. That was a okay. And Genesis, jump in whenever you want to ask a question. I wanna damn. Okay, with what you told us, and I know you said you held on to it. Of course, we know that's what caused a lot of relationship stuff.
Absolutely.
But how do you, when you look at your, I'm talking about our daughters. I have a daughter. You have, when you look at your daughter, how do you even find the way to trust? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trust people. I'm
Um,
listening to you, but I'm relating to that story because I wouldn't be.
it
I already can't trust it anyway, but
uh,
just I can't
that
see it.
I only allow my children to be around those who I truly trusted them with, and for the most part, they are generally always with me.
So you become is it's good. So is it good to be
It
overprotective? I
it
already know the answer.
it is,
Yeah,
but I
same.
do like to be able to find, like I said, those ones that I can trust, and then I thrive within that community of people that I know, aren't going to harm me or my children.
Right.
That piece of the family that I know can be trusted in that manner.
And is
Um,
it a small group? It gets very small.
Yeah, it's really, really is a small group. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. Majority of the time, if my children do go with anyone, it may be my mother and my
Right.
stepfather from time to time on a spring break, maybe a couple weeks over the summer.
Right.
But pretty much throughout the entire year, they're with me. Other than that, there's really nobody else to care directly for my children. They don't see or talk to their father either,
Right.
not on any, that has anything to
Then you
do
got
with
your
me.
the father's family that you got to worry about. But I want to ask you
But
about your parents.
my father's family
No,
does
no, their father, the children, like
oh
people
yeah.
you don't know. I'm saying people you don't know in his family. That
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just relating it to myself. But go ahead.
And they, that's really neither here nor there, because they're not present, so I don't even have to really worry about them, because
Oh, okay.
they're in Georgia. So my husband, is pretty much the father to my children.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, he does everything for them. He takes care of them just like they're his own. And he loves them. He
so
loves
he
them.
don't listen to the manosphere saying no stepdad, huh?
Oh
I'm
no,
just I'm
and he
playing.
loves them in a way that their real father couldn't, even if he was around, because of the type of person he is.
Right, but I'm going to say this. We don't. This is the detriment of our community where we have men telling men don't step up and take care of fatherless children. Who's
Yeah.
gonna take care of them then if you're not gonna do it as men?
I
But
mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, we don't have no choice but to do it, because we all know as mama babies and daddies make
yeah,
the way, we don't have any choice. But at the end of the day, all these men who are around also are looking at the lower generations and expecting them to be something so high, but not taking accountability for the fact that there's no one to guide them on how to get higher. You
right.
know, how can I expect my son to know how to wear his crown if nobody has showed him how to put it on?
There's no man, no male representation.
Exactly.
Going back to your father, your father and your mother, when they did find out about what happened, what was their actual reaction? Was it anger? Did they take was it any violence? And what happened?
And that's why I said nothing much came up to it, because this is the way that it came out. When it came out, it wasn't even through me telling it. That was number one. My cousin, the one who I confided in, as I said, was the only person that knew of the incident at the time that it happened. They were living with us at the time, and at some point, her and my mother were falling out, and my mother was literally putting her out uh,
Mm.
and taking her back to her mother's house. And I wasn't with them in the car, but somewhere along that drive, while they're arguing, she just blurts out this information about me, I guess, to take away from whatever was going on
Mm.
between her and my mother. So she just blurts out this information in regards to me being touched by my cousin, and of me having lost my virginity, because this is years later. This happens when I'm 12. When this
Oh,
incident happens between her and my mother. So this is like 4 years later. So again, I had to put this stuff in the back of my mind. That's why I was telling you I tucked it away for a while till it came away up at this moment, when I was 12, when she gave this information to my mother. And of course, my mother came to me and asked about it. And I'll be honest, I was thrown off. You know what I'm saying?
you
And
were in the car.
I was
Well,
terrified. And
I mean, when she blurted it out, you were present.
no, they were in the
Oh,
car. He was on the way to take her back to her.
oh,
I'm at home. So after she, so of course she drops her off and shoots back home. And because there was already all this crazy energy. Basically, she came to me with this crazy energy that terrified me. And my
Guns
mother
blazing, huh? Was it
and
guns blazing?
say that again.
Wow.
Was she very aggressive with you about it, or like accusatory?
It was. It just wasn't soft enough to make me feel.
Oh, this is making me, oh my gosh, I
It
gotta see you. I
it was
gotta come to your
it wasn't
thing.
soft enough, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea about my
No,
mother.
no, no. But
My mother
wait a
is
minute, Kate.
a
This is
very
common. It's
right,
common that mothers aren't. It's not like, oh, baby. It's usually the opposite. Hold your
right.
thought. I just want to say thank you to Devin Blair for you move. You're touching people. I saw Sister Freedom, Tahuti. A lot of people are moved by the story, including I know I am. I know Genesis is. Devin Blair, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Powerful sisters with powerful stories rise up."
Yeah, that's actually
Shout-
my husband right there.
Oh, this is your husband.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's
I
actually my.
knew this was your husband. Something in my mind reminded me. Wow. Thank you, brother. Shout out to all our sisters with shared experiences. You're not alone. This makes me feel like crying. I wasn't ready for this. And I won't cry.
Yeah,
But
but like I was, I don't.
you're gonna tell us your love story. We're gonna
Right.
get on some good
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll get to that.
We're gonna get on some good stuff. Oh
Yeah.
And
wow.
I do also want to say that my mom had a similar like reaction when I told her something that's similar. It was, and I would say that a lot of these people that are mothers, grew up during a time where
Hmm.
when those things would happen, they would get shunned from the whole community.
Hmm.
So a lot of fear,
Language, right?
So no, we don't feel anything bad about your mom. We just know that she's operating in fear.
Mm-hmm.
That and my mom was different from most. Remember I told you that this was a cycle. She was molested as a young girl herself,
Yeah.
by her uncle, my grandma's brother,
Oh.
and my mother ended up, um and I can't tell you how. I tell all the time it had to be Stockholm syndrome, because I could never. um, but she ended up taking care of him on his way out in death. You know, um,
Mm.
so she had a different way of looking at these things, and in
Mm.
her mind, she had done forgave. So um, these are the little things that separate me and her, because I just don't have that. Now I'm not gonna sit around and I'm not gonna demonize you, because I could demonize my cousin. I could point him out right now to everybody in the family.
Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be close to you. I can't give you my energy, and I'm not gonna give you access to my family or my spirit.
Mm.
So those are the ways we differed. And during that time period of when she was doing that, those were things that triggered me as well, because I couldn't understand, how someone can traumatize you in such a way, and you still find a way to do those things for them. You
Well,
know, to,
she reacted differently to the trauma. But
right?
what happened with your, if you don't mind me, you don't have to name him, but did I'm sure he has done this to other children, whether he was 16 or not, that
It,
he understood that that was a violation.
right.
Where is he still out in the community? Like, how do
Um,
you work with that?
I'm not around him. I haven't been around him in years, and this was during a time period. Because my mother was always the auntie that always, she's gonna go to see her people. You know what I'm saying? My mama travels, she gonna pop up on the cousins, she gonna look out for all her nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be there for her
Mm.
family. So, her nieces and nephews often came and stayed with us, you know what I'm saying, during the
Damn.
summers, or she's, had to take care of some of my cousins. Like I said, one of my cousins them were living with us for years, and um, we were like sisters and brothers and stuff. But this particular cousin just so happened to be, up here with us that summer. I can't tell you particularly why, but and on this particular day, we just so happened to be the only ones in the house. I can't even tell you why to this day, where everyone else was. You know?
Oh,
Was he babysitting you, or were you 8 years old and he was
I
16?
guess that makes sense because it was just me and him there, you know.
He was probably
Oh my
babysitting you.
God, this is so typical. I'm just thinking of some stuff that I've heard and know. Like, this isn't, this is the scary part. This is common. This is very common. This is so common. Like, nobody's thinking that the older cut. That's why that's why I'm paranoid. Look, people say to me and my family, how could you think this about someone? I said, I don't think that about them. I don't know. I'm talking about mostly like with my other, I'm not dissing, nothing's wrong with my children's family. No one's done any molestation, but I've heard so many stories like this that
Right.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. You know, my dad used to be like that with us. I used to beg, y'all. I used to beg my father on my hands and knees, my sister and I, every summer, please, Daddy, can we please go to California and stay the summer with us? And he'd be like, nope. And my mom would be trying to convince me, like, nope.
Right.
Now I get it.
Right. That's how I am. My kids, like I definitely say no, you know,
Yeah.
but like I said, my mother was a big lover of her family. So,
She could
and
never know.
she didn't, you know what I'm saying? She didn't, you know, she has a really good heart and she wants to show love to all her people, you know what I'm saying? And she wants us all to be this big, happy family.
Family. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
nice.
she wants all the cousins to be cool with each other. You know, she wants that old thing back that, you know, those prior generations had. You know, my grandmother and their sisters and brothers, they all were really, really close and everybody was around with each other. You know, you're getting up regularly and you're having the cookouts, you're doing the family reunions every year. You know, you're really doing the family thing. And there was a time when we did that. But even then, the reality is these secrets were out there. These things were being swept under the rug. These things are not new. Um, in our family, you know, unfortunately. Now in the newer generation, now I can say this.
Hmm.
Me, my brothers, my cousins of my generation, um, we don't play.
Right.
We change, because we all acknowledge that we all understand what's been in the closets of our family. So
Right.
we've changed that whole cycle, and we know where not to go and who not to put our children around, because all those things are exposed now, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm able to make those better decisions, you know,
Of course.
for my children, because I understand who people really are. At those times when things were happening, you know, you didn't know that's what people were doing, you know, you didn't know. But now here we are 20, 30 years down the road, and things have been exposed. So you know who they are now.
I
So
hear you.
we're
And
not going to say about who they are.
I appreciate you. We appreciate you because your story, obviously, the bittersweet of it, the silver lining is that you help women. I have this flyer. I'm gonna, after post show, put it up on my shorts. But
Mhm.
this is we're gonna talk to the sister a little bit more. Genesis, like I said, you know, you could jump in anytime. We're gonna talk to her about her retreats, her work. Right here we have a flyer advertising an event upcoming, and we want to let the sisters know about it. Before I start reading the flyer, do you want to just talk to us about what you're doing, and then I'll go
Yeah,
ahead
sure,
and.
definitely. So it is our first annual 2024 Women in the Wild Post Trauma Healing and Camp and Retreat. I have seven different speakers coming there. We have facilitators that are coming to do to teach hand-to-hand combat. We're going to be doing artistic expression with a painter that's coming to teach about expressive healing through art. We're going to go horseback riding. We have a lot of different things that are actually kind of planned in the lineup. We have a shaman that's going to come through and do shamanic work, and actually do a happy ritual. I don't know if y'all familiar with happy.
You're
Um,
talking about Kemet now.
exactly. We're gonna do a happy ritual, to, you know, of course, to help with and assist with healing and to release anxiety, depression, negativity, and things of that nature. From our system, we're out in the open. We're out literally. This is a Black tribal land. It is owned by the Coble family here in Polkton, North Carolina. It's called Coble Landing. It's a beautiful, beautiful nature preserve that they bought over 200 acres, and they have been operating and just facilitating all kinds of awesome events there. Coble family, Rex Coble, is actually a good friend of mine. He's actually another artist out of North Carolina that's actually worked with like Papoose and a few other people out there. So he's kind of well established. And they bought all this acres of land, and they're bringing back opportunities for Black families and individuals through a nature preserve, a perspective. And we're going to be there camping literally in tents. It's
Real
not a
wait, hold on now. Real tense.
Yes, ma'am. We going camping.
Now, are you providing this? Because I'm going to show the donation
Yes.
page, but you're
Yeah.
private. No one has to show up with their own tent. You have all this.
It's optional if they want to, because some people have their own items and they just prefer to bring those things. But it is only optional. We are providing all the shelter, the tents, the padding. There's outdoor showers. There's also porta potties. We
Right.
have
It's a campsite. It's a campsite.
right, and we also have we're going to actually be providing the food. I have a chef that's going to be bringing our breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Awesome.
to the retreat as well. So we're not really worried about doing that. Like fishing is an option, but it's not necessarily because we out here trying to make our own meals. Like I didn't want to go that wild. I didn't want to go
Right.
that wild just yet. That was a lot of work.
You want to turn it into Survivor, right?
Right. Even though we are going to be doing some hand-to-hand.
Uh-oh. Hand-to-hand. Did you say hand-to-hand combat?
Yes, ma'am. We have
Okay, hold on. I got to greet Brother Reggie. You hold that thought. Brother Reggie, peace to you. I'm so blessed that you're here on my channel listening to this beautiful sister's story, and her empowerment is what I'm really loving, how she's empowering women. And to your husband, I just want to the brother Devin Blair, I want to read his comment because I love how y'all are. You guys make me so motivated. The love is so real. Okay. This is her husband. This is $1 million bestseller live, a true page out of the book of life. It takes a very strong person to even speak on things so deep and personal. Y'all are amazing. Thank you, brother. Let me tell you, it's your wife that really is moving. And I love how he supports you. We're not going to get off track with the we're going to stay on track finishing up, but I want to talk to y'all about your love story. You told me personally on the phone, and it's such a beautiful, moving story. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about all the funding that is going into this personal chef.
Providing tents. I'm going to be providing. Of course, we got to provide all the different amenities because we're outdoors. So we're going to be providing hand sanitizer, insect repellent.
Yeah, hygiene stuff.
All of the things that you need for camping, we're pretty much gonna have there. Like I said, we're gonna be doing, horseback riding and stuff. So and my goal is to really make sure that the ladies are able to leave with things that are memorable. So put together all kinds of different little goodie bags for them that are able to be personalized for each one of them, because all these different women are coming from different walks of life. But I've had an opportunity to speak with everybody briefly enough to really connect with them, and really have an opportunity to see that these are things that they really need, this opportunity, they need the healing experience. So I would just want to make sure we have everything we need, all the way down to paper towels and extra rolls of tissue, or whatever that may be, that we need
first aid kits, because I'm going to talk about this hand-to-hand combat thing. Why hand-to-hand combat? And then we'll get to the letting people know about the donations. Why hand-to-hand combat? Let me know what is this, a therapy?
Well, therapy and security. Like I said, this is, women in the wild. This is low key a version of a survival system that deals with us emotionally and physically. So I want to make sure that they get physical strengthening as well, of how to protect themselves so that they can feel secure. So I do have a martial artist. She's a black belt. It's a female martial artist by the name by Shani Saleh El Bay. And she actually is a stunt double. So
Oh,
she's
wow. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So she's a real professional. She's done this her whole life. Been in martial arts and contests and different things like that, and winning, and all of that. So she's really good. It's going to be an awesome experience. So she's going to come out, do some exercises with the ladies, show us different moves, and be able to show us different ways to protect ourselves physically. I also have um, uh, captain. She's a police captain in New York for over 16 years. She's going to be coming down. Her name is Latanya Monroe Chambers. And she's going to be speaking, and she's going to bring extra things for the ladies, like, little things of pepper spray and different little things that they can defend themselves with, and also give them tips and talk to them about crime against women, and give some crime awareness in regards to how it actually pertains to women specifically in violence.
I'm gonna bring some chastity belts with like some spikes and on the
Genesis is hilarious. Genesis. Talking about, well, let me say, when she said chastity belts, is it just exclusively women, or
Well,
is it men can join?
no, ma'am, this is only for the women. This for
Got it. Perfect. Yeah.
the women's.
It's a cleansing. It's like a sisterhood thing, right?
Now what I did do, because I'm all about the balance of energy. So the men are kind of the servants. The chef is a
Ooh, what? I
yeah,
know this sounds interesting. When you said that, the ladies like, what are they going to be wearing? Are they going to
yeah.
be
The chef is a
Are they
man.
going to be like dressed as chefs, like, and it's going to be like
I mean, well, he
formal?
his name is Chef Naki here.
I mean, you
In
have
the
men serving though. There's going to be male servants.
I mean, technically, I'm just saying they'll be doing the serving. The chef, the
Wow.
man who's gonna cater the meals to us. At the end of the retreat, as a closeout, as the ladies are leaving and before they go home, and of course we've been hiking and going on the nature trails, and we don't
Is
rode
this the
horse.
first one you've ever done? I don't mean to interrupt you. This sounds really elaborate
This,
and
this
cool.
actually is my first retreat. I've done lots of event planning, but this is my very
Okay.
first retreat.
Wow.
Um,
I don't
and
mean,
So we
okay.
got the chef, that's a male. The artistic expression, the painter, he's a male, the one that's
He's a
going to teach
male.
expressions of healing through art. And at the end of the retreat, like I said, as a treat for the ladies as they're leaving, take off sore muscles, I have a masseuse that is going to
Oh
be
wow, that is
good
amazing. That's
to
a
get
male
ladies.
also, right?
That's a male also. So those are the three places where the men are: the masseuse, the art teacher, and the cook.
All
Other
right.
than that, all the rest of the facilitators and the speakers are all women.
Women, and I love it. I need to really this sounds like top-notch, high line, fully loaded amenities and a great experience. So I need to let everybody know that, of course, donations are needed and they're always welcome. I just want to read your flyer if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters flyer says we need your, and I'm going to put it on my shorts and get it out there. If anybody wants to take a screenshot of this and share it on their page or in their channel, please feel free to do so. We need your help. Donations needed. 2024 Women in the Wild Post Trauma and Healing Retreat. That's the name of your event. Women in the Wild. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. Not wild women. So all the wild women, you don't need to.
No,
Women in the Wild.
coming here to get that part of us in check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody knows that is much needed.
Mm-hmm.
Serving women and families who have survived depression, anxiety, domestic violence, sexual abuse, mental illness, and more. And I just want to say this too, that everybody has, when to hear you're a balanced coach and you're a therapist, people think, oh, you're supposed to be perfect.
Oh,
That's the thing that everyone has a side where you have a breaking point or you don't want to get to that breaking point.
right.
You need people. We shouldn't be ashamed of therapy. We will need it throughout our lives.
I'm
And
telling you, it's doing that program probably saved my life. It allowed me to be more to my children
yeah,
than I ever could have been without that program. And the reason why is because I can acknowledge that my mental state was not there.
We're
I was,
talking about ARC. We're talking about the ARC program. Right?
yes, within my arts program,
ARC, yes.
so therapy or finding some type of support system that allows you to heal correctly and effectively, not fast. It doesn't mean, that you don't have to go through certain transitions to get to that place, because that's the point of it being effective. If it's effective, then there's going to be steps that are taken. There's going to be certain things that you do to actually take you to that place of healing, whether it be going to therapy, whether it be actually addressing the issues that may be in front of you, or be taking accountability for your own actions in any one of those situations that may have put you in a negative position. We have to really, really address the source of self. And most of us don't realize that a lot of the source of self is within our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even matter. There's so many people who don't even realize that they're suffering from trauma, because we're so used to how our families operate. This is normalcy. This is what we do. So you don't see it as being something that's wrong with the way we're living, or the way we talk to each other, or the way your mother's boyfriend handles her, or your sister's boyfriend. Like, nobody really see, or how a woman handles their own children, because a lot of times we have a lot of people, because of our own trauma, again, we don't know how to treat each other. And a lot of times it's hard to love others, even your own children, if you are not properly loving yourself, which is why I was saying that this program allowed me to be more of a mother to my children than I could have been without. Because before that program, when I was pregnant with my son, and God, story could be crazy, but the day, 2 days after I got out the hospital of having my son, my kid's father, basically, he left. He left.
2 days after.
2 days after. When I say I had no inkling of knowledge of anything, because of the narcissism, the manipulation, had no idea anything was going on. So up until 2 days after my son was born, I had no clue of what was really going on in my relationship, as far as his infidelity goes. Like the abuse and, the narcissism and the manipulation, all that was there, but I hadn't caught on to the actual infidelity, and him cheating, obviously, throughout the entire relationship. So, but after he left, after those 2 days, like, I couldn't even, and I pride myself on being a mother that breastfeeds her children. But because of my depression and because of the postpartum, trauma and everything, I couldn't even feed my son, my milk. I dried up because I wasn't eating, so, and I couldn't even really keep myself together to the point to where my daughter, who's my oldest daughter now, at the time, she was only 13. 13 when I gave birth to my son.
Your oldest.
Yeah, my oldest daughter. She literally was feeding me.
Feeding you because
Like
you
cooking food.
Yeah.
And,
So you had did you mention that you had was it a cesarean?
Yes, and I had a cesarean. Yes.
Damn, you had no support. See, that's another thing I want to say about your thing that you're doing, and even not just your retreat. Women, we need to have networks where women, as a doula, that's what we do. There are women who they're just, again, it's common.
Right.
Women, even if you don't have any problems in your relationship, you're there and goes back to work. He doesn't know what to do. You need a network. We used to have mothers and sisters and aunts. We don't have that anymore.
No, we didn't.
You were alone. Your 13-year-old had to be there.
Yeah. And I was, that bothers me, that bothers me. And
don't let that bother you. Don't let that bother you.
It doesn't bother me anymore, but it bothered me then.
It bothers me, but I get what you're saying, because you know what, I want to tell you at first, I filled up. Your whole story is so moving. However, I want to say this. You gave her so much power and strength. She knows how to take care of someone in great need. And I know what you're saying. Like, we don't want to parentify our children, but we can't go back in time. What you talk to us. Do you talk to her about it? Give her therapy?
Oh yeah, we've talked a lot. Me and her are very close. She's
Good.
practically one of my best friends, if you can go. But I guess that's because she's 20 now, so
Oh
we
wow.
a little more. But yeah, she is so compassionate. Um,
Yeah.
and she loves me so unconditionally. Um, so, it was never a question of what to do. She just automatically does those things,
Yeah.
even when she was that young, because she's always been a little mature. So, she's always been my backbone. I can't say anyone has probably been there for me through the things that I've been through as much as my daughter, because of course your children go through things with you. So, even though, other family members definitely have shown support, my daughter is the only one that I can say that showed support in an unconditional, loving way. You know,
Your story is so beautiful and moving. Y'all, I don't know if there shouldn't be any dry eyes out there because I mean, this is such a beautiful, beautiful story. I
yeah,
will not cry because you know if I cry on the air, they're gonna take it and the pause. But I love it. I love this story. God, this is such a beautiful story. And your
yeah,
daughter, I would love to meet her.
yeah,
Let's go ahead. I want you to talk,
yeah.
but I was gonna say let's talk more about your retreat. Go ahead, say what you need to say.
Yeah, so but that's it. That going.
Is she going to be at the retreat?
Actually, she is. We are gonna my daughter,
Okay.
and
I,
actually,
I have a question too.
hmm
Yeah, that's
Did
great.
you find it that after going through all this, that even in relationships that you were cold?
let me tell you, when I first found my way back to being me, after going through all that trauma and being in that program, yeah, I didn't care about
Wow.
care about none of them. I didn't. I of course went on a hiatus of being
Celibate?
celibate, and I went through this real health kit because, of course, with all the depression, the postpartum, having the two kids throughout all that situation, my body, of course, took a major hit because I'm
Right.
a person that will be an emotional eater. I eat when I'm upset,
A lot of
and I
people do.
aches,
Well, a
Yeah.
lot of times too, as well, they say that your body like develops a padding over it because of like the fight or flight mode that you become into when these type of things happen. So you develop extra what they call padding,
right,
like,
right,
Talk
because
to
your
us.
body
Wait,
holds on to that weight.
and
you're
it's
saying the
hard to get
emotional
it
weight.
off.
Okay. I get
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's hard to get it off. And I went through such a transition. I got with this celebrity coach called Kenya Crooks. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Kenya Crooks, but he's a huge celebrity coach down in Georgia. He's worked with Candy Burris, pretty much majority of the Real Housewives of Atlanta's cast, and all kind of different people, Mama June, and a bunch of different people. He's pretty well known, especially in Georgia. But he has an awesome program, and he works with people like myself who aren't celebrities directly. He's a great motivator, and when I say um, it was life changing, going through that program, because of course, as you lose that weight and you're exercising, which of course is releasing all these different endorphins that make you feel good. You're out in nature, you're breathing fresh air every day, and you're really, really using your body in the way that you're supposed to. Um,
Right.
just to actually create a healthy state within itself. So I just went through this period of time, and this is actually before I met my husband, of course. So all of this time I'm going through these different transitions, the weight. I've graduated from the program, and now I'm teaching in the program, and I'm just really focusing on me, and I'm getting to a point
Loving
where
your soul child. I love
right. And yeah, because I've definitely nurtured
yeah.
that 8-year-old self, the 8-year-old that was hurt so long ago. I've definitely um reconnected with her and hugged her.
Lady Keair,
Yeah.
I want to jump in and say this to you, and you know this, you probably heard of this therapy. I've done it before with other people, talked about it. What you just said, everybody listen, you have to go, there's hope. You say you can't turn back time. you can, it's a type of hypnosis as well, but you don't have to just do hypnosis. You can do visualization and sessions.
Mhm.
Go back to that child who you were
Mhm.
and love on that child and talk to that child to help the healing. Talk to us. You're shaking your head. Yes, so you know about it. Go
Yeah,
ahead and elaborate on that therapy.
it's one of the things that we taught in our classes, and that you learn in the program, about reconnecting with that child version of yourself, because there's the child, the adolescent, and the adult. So there's three components of yourself that live within you: the child, the adolescent, and the adult. So of course, as you go through your different healing stages, when you're coming through trauma, you starting off within your child state, because you have to address those
Right.
traumas, where they come from, the sources. You're also dealing with the teen of the adolescent state a lot of times simultaneously, because the teen is the person we kind of turned into in between becoming the adult. So the teen is still the person that, or the adolescent rather, is still the person that wants to, you know, uh, uh, still wants to, fight and beat everybody up behind the trauma. That's where all your aggression and your overprotectiveness in your life and everything lies, within the adolescent. Because when you experience childhood trauma so young, at some point you kind of learn how to live in that world, and you become your own protector and things of that nature. But
Right.
a lot of time, the adolescent version of yourself can actually put you in certain types of harm way, because the adolescent self is the one that um jump at it. It
Strike
wants to
out.
get in it. Yeah, it wants to crank up.
Real
um
quick, I know, look at you. I love you. You are an excellent guest. You don't stop flowing. I like that. But I need you to give me your Cash App or something so I can
yeah,
also put that, or have your husband place it in. I gave him a wrench, place it into the chat so we can get the donations to you as well. So can you do that? Just ask your husband, or I don't think
okay.
you.
Yeah, let me ask.
So,
But it's
but
healing by K, healing as it's spelled, by
you mean
BYK.
dollar sign?
Yeah, you can put the $. Yeah. Healing by Kay at gmail.com.
Oh, that's what is
Not at
that?
Gmail, excuse me.
Oh,
Healing by K 09.
Healing
That's the
by
cash
K.
app. But
KAY, but 09. But I also would, I love my mods. They haven't forgotten about me. I love you. I don't deserve you. But, and I know you be helping me too. But if you could also go to the actual Cash App and get the link, that'd be great. Thank
yeah,
you
I
so much.
got my husband doing it now, so he should
Beautiful. Thank you,
probably.
Sonetter, for mentioning that. Thank you to everybody who's here. Please hit the like. Please share the flyer. As I said, I'm going to put it on my shorts after, but I wanted to highlight the flyers. Yes, listen, with your retreat, are you going to be doing some actual traditional sit down therapy, or is it just going to be all hands on? Like wilderness, like outdoors, is there going to basically be some are you going to be the only therapist there, or will there be other people
Oh
there, like
no, I have.
counseling? I mean,
Yeah,
counseling.
because I'm a coach technically. Now I am actually currently in school for my degree for human services.
Good.
So my goal is to take this to a high level within the community. So I'm working on the actual degree factor so I can get more to that therapist title.
so
But
so you're working on bachelor's too, because you can go ahead and start doing it before you get your degree. You can
okay,
get your, you can there, you probably know there's different paths, certifications and licensing that
right.
don't require you to go all have to wait, because you said, and I'm not being funny, you're ready to do on different levels 100%. I mean, I'm not a somebody who can give you your license or certification, but my
Well,
point is,
that's what I'm
are
looking
you
into.
waiting to your degree? When you say degree, you mean like bachelor, associates, or bachelors, or what do you mean?
Currently I'm in the associate degree program. But
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be transferring to I go to the community college here in our area, mainly because they actually allow the local residents to go free.
What? Where are you?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm in a small town called Peachland, North Carolina.
And you
It's
can go to get your associates for free.
at the community college for residents here in this county. You are able to go.
Everyone should have their associates. degree.
Every single person should. I don't know how every person down here doesn't have it,
I
but I
don't
take
either.
full advantage of all of it because
Wow,
they're paying for it. So it would be ridiculous not to do it. But yeah, and I just wanted to be able to further the information and actually reconnect with the community resources because I'm in such a small town here. The reality is there's a lot of potential for what you can bring here. Nobody's doing the type of things that I'm trying to do here.
I
They
love
don't
it.
they don't have rec centers for the kids. They don't have any after school programs in this area. It's a very small localized area and they've kept it that way. So my goal is to get in where I fit in because of course there's lots of people that are looking for that change and looking to open up. So me and my husband especially has gotten really connected with the community. He knows the guy that is we got here, and he's dealt with a lot of prominent people in the area. So the goal is to definitely try to bring greater things here to our area, especially for us. Like I said, they don't really have anything for us at all. Us meaning
I know
black
black
people.
people,
You know,
African, the descendants of African slaves.
absolutely.
What
They
are we? Because they had a debate tonight. Girl, I was like, oh Lord, we're debating if we're black. We're debating if we're Semitic. We're debating if we're Hebrew. What are we, Lord?
right. Look, I just can't do it. I don't think
I
those
said, we, you mean the descendants of African slave? And then they say, wait, we're not even descendants of African slaves.
Lord,
Oh, Lord, we're not.
what are we?
What are we,
Because
God?
they make
So
you
I have a question. I'm sorry not to interrupt.
no, go
So
ahead.
you mentioned the ARC program. Are you familiar with Kelly Mays, aka Native Child? She was a poet out of Detroit, Michigan. She was actually a speaker with the ARC program,
Oh,
a
okay.
well-known speaker, and her husband stabbed her 37 times. She was a domestic abuse
Oh, wow.
survivor, and her husband that she married after that, you know,
I didn't know Native Child was stabbed to death by her husband.
Wow.
yeah, by Super MC, yeah.
When
Wow.
was
No, I
that?
did not know
That
that.
just happened like maybe last month. Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh.
Oh, I didn't know nothing
What
about
Yeah,
the
that.
yeah.
heck?
Super it was on the news. Like I guess they were
Mm.
having he had gotten into a car accident that gave him a really severe head injury. And people were already saying like he was like having like some darkness surrounding him. And I guess she was saying she was gonna leave him. And so next thing you know, like I guess in between they met each other and yeah, she
Mm.
was unalived. Yeah, so um I did want to like bring that up because she is a member of the ARC. I figured that you might have known her.
No, at
Um,
least I can't say that I did because I haven't been teaching for the art program in about a year now. So I'm not sure
hmm.
exactly when she's in the program, and she may not even been in my classes because there's several different teachers that are in the program. So we just might not have crossed paths, and that's definitely unfortunate that it happened to her.
No.
And I hate that she wasn't able to get out of it.
Yeah, her daughter
Well,
was the one that found her. That's the thing that's sad about these type of things. That's how serious we need to take this because for your daughter to find you in that condition, that's very traumatizing, to a person.
especially because she works in it. But could you share it? I'm looking. I don't mean to interrupt you. Could you share that with me though? I want to, because I
Yeah,
didn't hear about that
Yeah,
I'll put it in the chat. So
in the back. Yeah, because I'm looking at it. But go ahead. Her daughter found her.
did you know her?
Did
no,
I know of her? I didn't know her, but I knew of her. I didn't
yeah,
know she was.
Yeah, she
I,
was a well-known domestic violence. She was a poet, but she was also a well-known domestic violence advocate and speaker of the ARC program. You know,
mm.
she used to travel around the world, the country, like speaking again out
Now,
against.
see, the
Huh.
directors of the program and all those people probably know who she is. But I did my teaching classes either online or over the phone, so that's why I said I just may not have had an opportunity to interact with her while I was there. Because
This
she,
is so bad.
yeah, it's
This
sad.
barely was even. I didn't even hear anything really about this. Like it was in January.
And how old is her daughter that found her?
I think she's like maybe 19 or something like that, or 20. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
This barely got any news. I mean, they're not even showing her image on this. But I want to read the. Can I bring the article up? Do you mind? Can
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. This is what we're here for.
huh? I mean, you look at this and you say, "Damn!" Not even women who are advocating, coaching, helping, they're still at risk. They're
Right.
still.
It's,
You
I
want to
mean,
speak on this,
the
Genesis?
thing is, it's
I'm gonna
like I
show you the
said,
video. Hold on. I'm gonna send you the video
like
on
I
the screen
said,
in the back chat.
we have to really do our work, and we have to be diligent about the work that we're doing when it comes to healing from this trauma, because of the cycles can keep repeating themselves. We have to be willing to make sure that we are taking proper accountability for the steps that we are making especially once you went through, the healing, and you've kind of learned, what to look out for, and especially when you're living it. Like, we have to be willing to walk away. We have to willing to just go. Like, the first time should be the last time. You know, we should never give anybody enough room over us to where they can keep coming back and doing the same thing to you repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't even see them talking about her so much. They're more talking about him being the rapper. I see. I don't know who he is.
Wow. So they're
Yeah,
making more about him, but not speaking on the victim.
They're talking about how he killed her, and they're highlighting that he was in the 8 Mile. I don't even know who he is, though. I know you probably, well, you do know Genesis. You're from Detroit and you're DJ.
yeah, I actually knew him. What was weird was that I talked to him a week before it happened.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. And he was
Wow.
all right, normal sounding. You would never think that in a million years that that somebody was gonna like he would do that. But people were saying that that and the sad part about it is after he did it, he called friends like to figure out what to do, and they were like, "Dude, you got to turn yourself in."
Why
30,
did he? What was the motivation? Not that there is even any
nobody
reason.
knows 37 times. Like, so,
Oh,
Obviously,
wow.
you know what I want to say this part, and I didn't want to I don't want to go too deep in this, but how do I say this? She clearly was working to help women, yet she still was in a relationship that was DV. And obviously that man didn't just break out one day and start he had to have been abusive,
Right.
which have you experienced that or seen that with women?
Yeah.
Both of them. Both of
I
them.
can attest to it, even myself in my own past relationships. Like I said, my kid's father, I can't tell you how many times that we fought. That man is he's head butted me while I was pregnant. You know what I'm
But I'm
saying?
saying while you're actually being an advocate and a coach and a
Oh
teacher,
no. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing with her,
And
which is really
but
sad.
that's why I said we have to really be real with ourselves and be accountable. Um with our own habits, with our own interactions, with our own thought processes of when we are dealing with these types of situations, because if you're not careful, you'll talk yourself back into something bad because you still haven't found your worth. You still haven't really understood how to love yourself yet. You still are lost in your trauma. You haven't told. Sometimes a lot of people don't realize, and I can say this as a speaker, and as a teacher, the reality is sometimes it is way easier to give people advice and tell them what to do than it is to actually do it in your own life. It is easier for me to teach people the things that I have learned through my healing process than it is to actually stick to what I learned in my healing process. What makes it the easiest thing to do at this point in my life is because I did so well in that healing process. I actually was able to find comfort and love again. And there was no desperation in it because I took time for myself. A lot of people do not take time for themselves. And that's where the self-love generally grows at. That's where you get to learn yourself. That's where you take the time to reflect at. That's where I get to know what I like and what I dislike, because I can actually I know what made me happy and what made me sad. I know what caused me to go higher and what took me to go, lower. So we have to really take time for ourselves and actually do the work, not just for a period of time, but anybody who's in recovery. And this is even for people that deal with domestic violence and trauma. Just the same way that we tell people dealing with addiction, because love can be an addiction. And a lot of people probably don't know that. Love is an addiction. There is a real life love addiction. You can look it up. It's in therapies. Okay, there are people that are addicted to just wanting to be loved, and you'll go out and you just want to be loved by anybody, somebody, like the song say. Can
Right.
anybody find me someone to love? You just want somebody.
Right.
And that's not a healthy state of mind, because people don't like being alone. They don't want to be with themselves. Some people don't even like themselves, so they need other people around so they feel happy about themselves. And those are all different types of versions of mental health issues and traumas that need to be addressed. And a lot of people skip over certain things. We deal with the things that make us comfortable. We deal with the things that are easy, but most people do not actually go into the things that are hard. And I allowed myself to dive into every aspect of those things, whether they were hard to look at, to remember, to face, whether the people that I'm having to think about or address are people that I still love to this day. The reality is, for my betterment and for my healing, it is necessary to actually address these things. I have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Everyone has to deal with whatever is on your mind and spirit that is keeping you from finding a place of peace. And the longer that you don't do that, the more not only are you hurting yourself, but it's highly likely that you are hurting someone else around you. 9 times out of 10, there is someone that you're probably treating improperly, whether it's your wife, a lover, a sister, a brother, or your children, or even your own mama and your own, father. Because the reality is, when we don't deal with self, we will take it out on everyone else. So it is important to do this healing, and I congratulate the women who are coming to this retreat for doing just that. They're ready to actually face what's holding them back. They're ready to move above their fears. They're ready to actually see life from a different perspective. They're ready to actually be happy, healthy, and recover. They're ready to move forward. And I'm still in that same space, because like I said, people don't realize that you are always in recovery. If you allow yourself to get too comfortable under any circumstance, you will fall back into old habits, no matter if that's due to addiction, due to the way that you date or operate in relationships. All those different things actually matter. And you have to keep yourself consistently accountable mentally. For
Yes, I
yourself.
love it. I love it. And this is just a portion of what we can get, or you will get with the sisters retreat. I'm going to share also that last flyer about you calling out to those who want to assist, volunteer. But I want to welcome Elder Sonetter, to the stage. Peace, Sonetter.
Elder.
You're muted.
Peace, Anetta.
Peace to the ladies. How y'all doing?
He's
Good.
good.
Thank you for joining.
Hey, I just first want to say, Napah, real quick. You need to grab the link that Brother Tahuti put up of your Cash App and put it in your description.
All right.
That way it'll always be there. So when somebody want it, you can just copy, paste it, and throw it in the chat.
Right.
That way it'll always be there, because you always say, I can't find the link. Where's that? So now it's right there. Tahuti got it up in there.
Tahuti, I don't think Tahuti. Can you repost it for me? Because I can't see
just
it.
Scroll up. You can see it when you stroll up.
I know, but I'm going. Okay, so thank you. I will do that.
And great show. Lady Keair going in as usual. God damn. She going in as usual,
I mean, I gotta give it all I got while I'm here.
Huh?
So I gotta give it all I got while I'm here.
I know, I see.
Y'all get busy. Y'all get busy around here.
I know. She's like, let me just let you know from the beginning into no. So I love it though, because before Sonnet, I know you have something to say, but I want to say to Genesis, I can't actually play that one.
No, I don't have nothing to say. Bond Dog just dropped the link.
I'm glad you joined, but I can't play that video. But that's a damn shame. I see that yes, he did actually murder her. Unbelievable. But I like how you talked about loving yourself and being true to yourself. Sonetter, we have to share. Did you see we got to share this information about, let me get it back up on the screen, about the sisters retreat. It's amazing. Horseback.
No, I heard it. I heard her speaking.
Awesome.
I also want to talk about, like, the reason why I wanted to bring her up is to imagine her being in her healing phase up to a person that, as a director in the ARC program, and then ends up succumbing to this because of the propensity to go back. You know, a lot of people forget that, you know, like, I guess this is something about the going back. It's one, I don't know whether it's love, or I don't know what that symptom is of the go back, you know, because I've been in the situation before. I wish I went back several times, and thank God this was not my fate, you know, God wanted something more for me. But I want to see what you talk. I want you to talk about the actual go back aspect, like of these relationships, these domestic violence, and the danger of going back.
Well, when we talk about going back, it can get real complicated. There's several different reasons why people go back outside of just saying, "Oh, I love him." A lot of people don't have any support system. They don't have any families around. A lot of people are scared to go and live in shelters because they want to feel like they're homeless. A lot of people are actually scared to go and seek assistance because a lot of women are actually afraid that maybe CPS will get involved and take their children away because they're in domestic violence relationships. So there's so many different variables, you know. People are sometimes, a lot of these women are not financially stable. They don't have any money to leave, you know, because they've become in a financially abusive situation to where the man controls every aspect of the finances and she's not able to get away. And then you have situations where you have certain relationships where, let's just say the person is extra powerful. They're in they're a sheriff, a police officer, or, you know,
leader.
There's someone that's in the military, you know. These people that kind of hold a sense of dominance, and they project that over you, and let you know that they can control your life, or maybe affect the way you live because of who they are, who they're connected to. You know, so it's so many different reasons why women come back or stay. I mean, there's women out here that literally have stories where they tried to get away, they ran away. You got people, some of these men, or people in general, because you got some women who have dealt with same-sex toxicity, you know, so I'm not going to say it's all men. Some of these women have female partners, you know, as well. And some of these women have went through different types of situations where they literally have ran away, and this person comes and finds them, you know, and they take you back, you know, threaten you to go back, you know, or threaten to kill you so you won't leave, i.e. what happened with you know, the young lady that you just mentioned.
She's actually an advocate for women.
Right.
I want to ask you, what about the part of the situation where women can't really decide, okay, do we need counseling as a couple, or is he super toxic, or is my partner super toxic? I should leave. Talk to us about where you help people just determine that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. In my profession, we are the victim's advocate.
So
everything I deal with any of my clients who come to me and that type of situation, I'm always going to tell them to choose them first.
What do you think about, let me rephrase it then. I'm not saying telling people to go back to something toxic. When they're saying, coming to you and saying, you know, I'm having these problems in my relationship, we have a marriage, do they share details with you to where you're like, okay, I don't see violence, I don't see you know, life threatening, I don't see verbal abuse. Is there ever a point where you say, okay, it looks like I should direct you to this family behavioral counselor? You don't do that. It's more of a crisis. You're doing crisis work.
And I do. I mean, within my specialty, I'm still able to coach and deal with family and, family situations or family trauma or whatever may be going on. But in the situation, in the stance where you're saying it's more of someone that just may be having marital issues, not necessarily abuse, or there's no addictions involved, not really a unhealthy environment, but
Well,
maybe
it's unhealthy, but yeah, like there's no danger. So
right.
I should have. I'm getting back on track. That's my fault. You're doing purely crisis situations, not like family, family counseling.
And when I finish this human services degree, I'll be able to do all the above, like
Okay.
on a really high level. But right now, within my coaching, I do specialize in dealing with trauma and post-trauma healing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And
And
getting back to that, go ahead. I'm going to pull up your flyer for the volunteer
what
work.
about like I would say like okay, so recently, I'm not sure about you. You've heard the whole like thing with the carbonation,
Yeah.
where
Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like do you feel like that like with certain things like that you have the ability to counsel people like that or is that there I don't even think there's really specialists that really there's I think they had that one specialist on there, but I mean
I'm gonna be honest with you. Those women. Now, I'm not gonna say I couldn't do it, but those women, they definitely need to get some mental health counseling.
Yeah, that's a higher pay grade.
Yeah, they need to see a therapist because the things that they believe in, and because their beliefs are bound within that trauma, and they still have issues relieving themselves from it, even though the reality of their situation has presented itself the way it is at this moment, lets you know that mentally there's something going on there. It lets you know that his manipulation, narcissism, and whatever system they had amongst each other there, they actually felt like it was working. They
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
still feel like it's valid.
A
So
lot
with
of them do.
regular people, it is going to be hard for someone like myself. They need specific treatment because they have to. We're talking about a whole basic cult type of therapy.
like on so many different levels, like
Right.
spiritual, metaphysical, like nuclear, like from the like I mean it's like these people are damaged from the inside and out. So
I
how do
mean,
you counsel
so
that?
and that's my point. That they would need extensive therapy, and when I say extensive therapy, that means that what they went through is not something that they would be able to recover from in a few months. These
Right.
people be in therapy for years.
Yeah, and I do want to say this though, to be super, and all of us are. I'm just throwing some into to be super compassionate. Um, the core, it all starts in childhood. So the
Mhm.
good thing to say is, it's not like, yes, it's horrific. It's actually unprecedented. It's some of the abuse that even I heard on Genesis channel today.
Right.
But there's still hope. Um, no one has had a squeaky clean childhood and
Right.
existence. So our heart goes out to those who are healing. We all have been, as you heard, this beautiful, amazing strength, pillar of strength for women. Our sister lady Keair, Coach K. She's actually now a pillar to hold on to, an anchor in the storm. So for those sisters out there, especially, you're gonna have her on Genesis, especially our sister Janae. She's working, right? She's working hard to heal, and there's hope for them. So
Absolutely.
you give the sisters hope that, hey, I can do something. I can help others. I don't have to just feel like I'm damaged goods.
Absolutely. And the reality is, for all those ladies that may be listening, and even men that have suffered from trauma and abuse and things of that nature, because we can't necessarily leave them out. Even though I'm holding this particular event for women, men have suffered from trauma and
Oh
abuse
yeah.
and things of that nature as well. So I want to, let everyone know that I do private, consultations, private coaching, one-on-ones, and things of that nature. So if anybody is out there that needs someone to talk to, and you can't afford to go to, a highly paid therapist or anything like that, feel free to reach out to healingbyk@gmail.com. And reach out to Coach K. I will definitely link with you and set you up with a few sessions, after we maybe do an initial consultation, to see exactly what your goals are and what it is that you're trying to heal from. And work towards that. And I'll definitely help you create a plan that allows you to do just that. I definitely have credible clients that will attest to what I have been able to help them do to facilitate their own recovery.
And if you cannot, if it's above what you have so far in your journey, your education journey, and your professional experience, you will pass them on or direct them to therapists that are qualified,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. I do have resource information. I even highly recommend to a lot of people to take advantage of the ARCS program. If you cannot afford therapy, take advantage of the ARCS. ARCS to Freedom is what you would look up online, the website, ARCS, ARCS to freedom.com. Or it may show up .org. I can't remember. I have to go look. But they have a great program. It's highly affordable. And when I say affordable, I mean literally like paying $15 per week, for your class, that type of thing. And you're able to help yourself go through that healing status. So if you got people out here that don't want to talk to nobody, they just too afraid to really deal with it, head on with someone else, but they still want to find some way to facilitate healing for themselves, that program will allow you to do just that. All you have to do is dedicate yourself and you will make that journey. The teachers there are awesome. And everyone is similar to myself that come from similar situations and are very, very good at giving the information you need. My professor, who was over me, was so awesome. And she's actually was a lady that was from Austria that lives in Georgia now. But it's a really, really, really great program. And I advocate for that program because anybody can take it. All you have to do is contact them and they will help you facilitate your own healing. But if you need someone, then you reach out to a qualified therapist. Speak with your doctor. Even your regular physician can guide you to credible options for mental health therapists. You have to speak up and let people know what you need in order to get the help, because people don't know really what you need. You have to tell us what is going on. We can't read your minds, and sitting around crying about it every day does not help us heal. Now, it is a form of healing. Don't get me wrong. Crying is a way to release, and it allows you to purify. But it can't be the only thing you do to try to get through the trauma, because it's just so deep, especially depending on what, how long ago it was and the ages you were when it happened. Like, there's so many different variables and people go different ways, with the extents of, where their trauma leads them to. Nobody never necessarily always end up on the same road, but we all kind of the trauma kind of stems from a similar place for everyone. And that's what we're kind of realizing, is that the reality is we have to get back to the source of the trauma and you have to deal with it. So please, if not me, find somebody.
Yes, that definitely. Thank you so much. Before we go, because we have a few more minutes. Anybody who wants to come in, thank you, Sonetta, for coming in. Anyone who wants to come in and ask some questions about the retreat, about maybe connect on, give your support, anything you want to ask Genesis a question. Genesis did just tonight, as I said, interview Treasure. What is it? 963. What was it?
Yeah, 963. Yeah, Treasure 963. Yeah.
She was with the Carbonation.
Yes.
Yes, and it's a very sad story how they tried to break her down. She isn't in the LGBTQ community.
Same sex, right?
And she's what you would call a stud, right?
Oh.
And so when she joined the Carbonation, it was almost like a total breakdown of trying to break her down to try to become more feminine or to become more female, like a woman. But she was more of a masculine. And so they told her that she needed to be with a man to find her divine feminine. and that man ended up raping her. So
Of course.
Are we talking about Alicia?
no, it was the guy that Eligio assigned to her.
Oh,
Oh,
I missed
oh,
that part. Dang. You know what? I
Yeah.
did just share the link, Genesis. Please go watch the video on Genesis channel, Alchemizing Energy, and also subscribe. You can reshare it if you'd like. Mods, I love you for your help. And Genesis, you also are, I saw you in the chat. But this is, yeah, that's a the women need, the men need. I always think of my brothers, but
and
then
I'm gonna have some coming for them too. It's eventually too. I'm working on that. It's in the background, so
right, and
I
your husband. We got to jump in and get your love story.
oh
I'm
yeah.
going to give you another 30 minutes because you've been so awesome to wait also
Okay.
till wait for the post after the debate. Let me get to this, excuse me, to this flyer here. This is a call to all of those out there who are doing therapy or who are therapists or have something to contribute to the event and to her cause, to the sister's cause. Do you want
Yeah.
to read it or do you want me to?
Let me see if I can
Can you
blow
see
it.
it? It's kind of
Yeah,
small.
I don't mind reading. I can read it.
Go ahead.
So, in search of sponsors, 2024 Women in Wild Post Trauma and Healing Retreat. Basically, do you have a passion for assisting others? Do you know any women suffering from trauma? Are you willing to help us to create a happier and healthier life? Join us in a mission to help to heal the wounds of the past that have kept great women from a better future, those
Oh,
who need a sisterhood. So you can contact me for more information at healingbyk@gmail.com, which is at the bottom of the flyer. And again, we're reaching out to sponsors, which of course can come from any walks of life, male or female, just people that are willing to assist and don't mind helping to support an event that will allow these women to create a better environment for themselves and their children.
and people might be like, oh, I'm a welder. I can't help. It doesn't matter. You can always use the help in any way, right?
Yeah, and don't any amount, if you just want to donate, then
Right.
that's totally fine. The sponsors, of course, I have a sponsors benefit list. So if anybody's actually interested in sponsors, then being a sponsor, we have like different levels for it, and different benefits or incentives, for those donation levels or whatnot. But otherwise, I mean, for those sponsorship levels, but otherwise, donations are totally accepted, any amount. It doesn't matter because again, we're trying to get, small things as well as big things. I'm creating goodie bags and different types of things for the speakers as well as a thank you for coming to support the event. Like I said, we're going out here in the wilderness, so we want to make sure that everybody has everything they need. And in the event of any emergencies, I want to make sure I have lanterns and things like that for everyone so we can see in
Oh
the dark
yeah.
and different things. So it's just different little items that would be really
Don't
helpful to
forget the
have.
bear spray.
Right, right,
No,
right.
people, don't make me
Hopefully we don't
start
have to
telling
get
my
no
bear
bears.
stories. My brother actually encountered a black bear, which we do some camp here in Arizona. People don't know up north and up north. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get off here. Up north, there's a lot of camping and there's bears.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Anyway, but I really want to tell you I really want to remember last but not least this amazing love story. I want to remember to ask you about it. Napah, what's going on? It's the Coke Zero, y'all. I don't usually drink this stuff. I heard that it makes your brain like it forms the heat in your body makes formaldehyde and starts to cook your
Oh
brain.
God. Oh,
No,
Lord.
but you know what? Anyway, I wanted to try it because my son loves it, and I drank a little, and so it's not bad. I used to love Coca-Cola, but I digress. I want you to go from we heard all the heartbreak and all the amazing thing that helped you
Right.
be a better woman, the woman you are. But now tell us that beautiful love story. Let me get this off the screen. And I want you to tell us about how you and your artistic husband met. You two.
Yeah. So me and my husband, Devon Blair, aka Afu Maakeru, of AfuNation, we met initially We met via music. A mutual friend that we shared via Facebook connected us because my husband was looking for a female artist, um, a rapper that he could connect with and, do some music with. At the time, he was actually living in California. So our initial love started, you know, um, online, and this is during the time. Now, we knew each other for about 3 years, honestly, before we actually got together. So we've done
3 years
3 years
online
online,
talking about music, or was it this what we
talking
doing
about
now?
music and just talking
Arguing
about
about chemistry?
life. Not even really,
I'm just kidding.
it didn't become any of that personal stuff until like in 2021. Yeah,
Oh wow.
2021. And I met him in 2018. I want to say it was when we initially became friends and talked and shared music. He sent me tracks and, I send them back to him and let him judge them and different things like that. So we went back and forth via music for a long time. And then, I guess we just kind of transitioned because initially when I met him, I was still with my kid's father. So
No, we didn't talk about how music was in there all that whole time during all of that. For
yeah,
you,
I've been
for
doing
you.
music my whole life.
Wow.
I've been doing music my whole life. My family is a very musical family. Um, it's a small secret that I might be a granddaughter of James Brown. That type of.
Uh-oh.
So it's
Don't play with me. Throw that in at the
oh
end of the
no,
interview.
I'm putting it out there because
I
it's
could see that, but you're
real
very
life facts.
talented.
Oh, if you see my mama, then you'll really see that because
I
my
could no, I mean I could see the talent is there. So you're
yeah.
in a relationship, toxic relationship. The music is your outlet, and then you meet him online.
Yeah, and
So,
it had kind of really dried up with me doing the music. Because like I said, I'm in this narcissistic, abusive relationship where he don't really want you to go out. And, music is really primarily, the industry is full of men, so it's an issue
oh
for me to
yeah.
go out and do performances or go and link up with producers and, go to the studio. There's different conflicts. So, I literally gave up self for a long time. So I wasn't even actually doing music for a while. The track that he sent me, when we started really talking in 2021, was probably the first track I had recorded in probably about 3.5 or 4 years. Track was like my breakout track because I had recently left my children's father. I'm going through all these emotional issues. So of course it was a very deep and
What
releasing,
was it called?
do for myself.
Can we hear it right now?
I don't have it on me.
Damn.
I don't have it on me. It would be somewhere in his computer or something. But I'll be honest with you. I don't even listen to or look for that track because
Mm.
it's a part of me emotionally that I no longer want to connect with.
Mm.
It was a source of pain outlet for me,
Okay.
that track. So I'll be honest, I don't even listen to that song, play it, or really care for it because it reminds me of a place I was when I wasn't
Wow.
myself and when I wasn't happy with myself. you know
Wow.
so and so
Well,
I
then we don't want to hear it then.
Right. So, and I've let go of those things. So I've it's certain stuff I don't even go back to, when it comes to music, because I realize that I'm just kind of in a different place now. Um, but, but yeah, so we start, connecting, we connected. And then finally, after I went through everything I went through, I'm teaching classes. Of course, we start really talking when, at this time after I went through my healing transition. I've graduated from the class. I've got my office, out in Statesville and all those different things like that. So when he met me, of course, I was in a better place, and at that time I felt like I was ready, because it had already been, 2.5 years since I had actually been in a relationship at that time, and been doing my work with all the stuff. So I kind of felt like I was ready, to start talking again. And he was such a breath of fresh air. He talks that African talk. That he has knowledge of his, knowledge of self. I've been able to
Mhm.
learn so much about Kemet from him. That's why I hate he won't get up here on none of the panels and share none of his mind with y'all, because you just have no idea, who I
We
live
have
with.
to convince him to do that.
I really want him to, because he really, really he would be such a value to the
He doesn't
panel.
have to go on the big stage. He could either come here or cam up, the quieter,
Right,
or,
right.
or,
The
or
spot.
even hit Genesis panel. She's
Right. I
interested. She's
get up
doing the
there.
show as well.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I would love to have you come up and like, even when Janae comes up, maybe give some insight,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
let me know when you want me to. I definitely link with you. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
So
tomorrow.
the love story. Sorry, go ahead, Genesis. You were saying something.
Yeah, that interview will be tomorrow. And I'll link up with you. And I'm doing a whole series called Cult Like Behavior, where I
Okay.
interview various different cult members. I interviewed Napah. I interviewed my friend Oya, who actually was in the Nuwapian Nation.
Mm.
Voodoo Bay, who was a part of the Sweet Daddy cult, as well as like Trey 69 from Carbonation. And it's a common thread. It's like a continuing cycle that happens with these cults. So yeah.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
I love her series. And I gotta Genesis, can you share? Excuse me, just one. Can you share your link for your channel? And it's all on her channel. So I already said that. Please subscribe. You were gonna say something, but I gotta say this. Look at how her husband praises her. I love it. He says, my wife has and is still healing me. That's how powerful she is. She has changed my life in ways unspeakable. I went through her car windshield. Oh my God. And almost lost my life. And she nursed me to health. Why are y'all trying to make me cry over here right now? Why?
So what
Oh
the
my
crazy part,
God.
like my family and stuff, they pretty
You need a
family
lifetime
because
movie. You need a
we
lifetime movie. I'm not trying to be funny. You need a lifetime
we
movie.
we get called everything from Bonnie and Clyde to Bonnie and Cher, because of how open he is. Like that's this is what I meant by the breath of fresh air. I don't necessarily have to ask him for what I need. He knows when and how to be there. And he's very good about it. And even not that he's perfect, because we all go through stuff. Me and him still have our, ups and downs or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Oh wow.
I can trust him. I know that he has my best interest at heart. I know that I can trust him with my children and having their best interests at heart. And we find ways to really complement each other and bounce off each other and really be able to work together. And like he said, he did. He got in a really bad car accident. This was in 2022, of January of 2022. He got in a real bad car accident and he did go through my windshield and practically almost broke his whole leg, but it didn't
Mm,
break, but it was one of those really bad, looked like it should have broke, it skinned up, whole half of your body, the
my
skin and
God.
all of that. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. But I thank God, like he's not lying. Because I'm into that holistic health, and I'm a push him, and I work with him on a kind of physical therapist level, because he didn't have any insurance to be able to go and get any of that stuff. So of course I looked some stuff up, and I worked with him, and within 6 months he was back up and walking. And they weren't expecting that to happen for at least a year due to the type of injury that he had.
Yeah.
And he still has some little aches and pains, but he's go. So that definitely is a blessing. And we weren't married at the time, of course, when that happened. So these are the things that we were able to learn about each other, of how, when it counted, how
Yeah.
we would be there for each other, what it meant to actually be there. When someone really needs you, and realizing who will be there when you need,
Right. That's
because
amazing.
everybody doesn't have a big support system. So I'm glad we found each other. And like I said, it seems crazy because we talked on the internet for so long and we waited so many years to meet, of course, because I was still with my kid's father when we initially met.
Was
So
there a
we
spark there? Was there like energy
Oh
still?
yeah, it was always obvious that we had a connection. It was
Wow.
obvious that there was a potential there, but I'm a loyal person. So even when I was with my abusive kid's father, I'm
Right.
not going to step outside the lines.
Yeah.
But I knew through our conversations that it was obvious that there was definitely something that could be something, but you push it out the way because you're in a relationship, of course.
Did
So
you tell him about the abuse during your friendship?
After he didn't know about the abuse, like while I was in the relationship or
So
whatnot.
you kept that a secret. Wow, that's hard, especially if you're
Yeah,
having a connection.
right. And that was, like I said, because we didn't really get into our connection until after I went through my healing.
Wow,
So
that's
once
beautiful.
I went through my healing and all of that, and we really started talking, and then, he flew over and everything from California for us to be able to, really meet and be able to get to know each other really. That's kind of how that, went into play. So we talked for a while. We were just friends through music, music brung us together, and music keeps us together now.
Awesome.
We were working on something earlier, so we love each other, and he expresses that a lot in various different ways, and I thank God that I went through my healing, because I can receive it and actually believe it, because that's one way that you know that you've healed, is to be able to receive acts of love and kindness, um,
Mhm.
and actually appreciate those things and feel like they're genuine. A lot of us come from so many toxic situations. When people are being nice, kind, friendly, or trying to love on you, you don't know how to receive it because you've been through so many messed up situations to where love never presented itself as being genuine. So he's like um, one of my first genuine people that I can say is like a genuine act of love, and he's been that since I've met him, and I try to be that for him too.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, and he is the father. He considers your children just as his own children.
Yeah, and he has two older daughters himself, but they're older, of course, or whatnot, and his children live where he's originally from, so we don't get to see them as much. But yeah, he definitely enjoys being with this little family we've created with
That's
each other.
beautiful.
And like I said, he treats. I love it, especially for my son, because that was one of the main things of a concern of a son growing up without a man role
And
model.
he's 6 or
Yeah,
4.
he's 6, right?
He's
He's
just a
6.
girl. Okay.
My baby girl is the 4-year-old. Yeah,
Oh wow. I
yeah,
think it's a beautiful story. I don't think I know. You have a beautiful love story. You have a beautiful life story. It's so painful in the beginning, but it just is so inspiring. I hope women out there who are stuck in something really bad as far as abuse and even addiction, they hear you and they reach out. Again, I'm going to share the flyers on my channel.
okay.
Sonnetter is going to share his, but Genesis, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I'm going to let you close out last, Lady Keair. I feel like I need more music besides the and I still have the track. Don't think, oh, I wrote to it. I did everything I need to do, but we'll talk about that later. I need more music from you. Just stuff that isn't just only specifically HOK. I want to play your stuff.
Yeah, well, all you gotta do, I'll be honest with you, just Google AfuNation.
Can we do it right now?
Yeah, I
I'll
guess.
play one thing. Is it going to be an elaborate login and stuff? Because
No. We're pretty much on all the major platforms. We even are, YouTube even has
SoundCloud
a
and stuff.
page of our music.
Oh,
Um,
you're on YouTube
yeah, we have
on your
AfuNation.
channel.
Yeah, we have an
Oh,
AfuNation Records channel, our direct channel, but because we have distributors, YouTube literally has an AfuNation page where all our music can be played from YouTube on that page too.
will I be able to play one song without getting it? Oh, here's Afu Gallery, Afu
It
Nation.
might, it might give you a copyright if it's through a.
Yeah, if
Right,
it's not
right.
yours.
Through those, yeah. So yeah, actually, yeah, it might because you're playing it.
But this is your website, afunation.com.
And you can find all of our
Oh,
links.
look at you.
All
Look at I see it. I'm gonna share this. You look cute. You look
thank-
like you're in a movie star singer stage mode.
I wear my natural face a lot.
And
So when people
now
see
you
me
look
actually get
beautiful.
it together,
Dude,
yeah.
you look like you look like you remind me of like a Tracy Chapman vibe, but I'm gonna see what you up here spitting. Can I hit one of these? Which one should I play?
Um, You can hit any one of them you want
Oh
to.
wait, these are the ones that are on YouTube that aren't really
Right,
yours.
right. Those are all
Oh
the
damn, I can't play any of these
yeah.
because you have
Yeah, the
King.
only ones that we haven't did that to is for it's the ones we did for Sinetta. Because
Oh
normally of
damn.
course we
All right.
protect
Well,
all
give
our
me.
music.
Well, anyway, this is the. Let me share the link. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share the link. So yes, next time I bring you on, I want to just interview you. Not like as if this wasn't the. This was
Mm-hmm.
very important information, but I want to talk to you about the music specifically. All right, Genesis. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad you got to meet this beautiful sister.
Yeah,
I
thank
have been telling this sister. I was like, I'm gonna do this interview. Okay.
you.
And I finally did. I'm so
Yeah, I
happy.
appreciate it so much.
Go ahead and close out, Genesis. Give us your last final word. I mean, your final words on this stream. And then we'll move on and let the sister close out.
I just want to thank you, Coach K. I am excited about your retreat.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to promote it as much as I can on my community wall. And thank you for the work that you're doing in the community to help women overcome domestic abuse and various other traumas. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
I,
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you.
for the
And
work
I'm
you're doing.
forwarding the flyer to you right now. Genesis, I was looking at this. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna forward this flyer, the flyers to you so you can share them, Genesis.
yeah,
Okay.
y'all are a blessing. I appreciate it so much.
Will do.
Yes, definitely. So let me let you close out. I'm gonna do it after the show because I'm
Okay. Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
I want to thank, of course, Miss Napah Shadah for bringing me in, for the sit down this evening, and Miss DJ Genesis for being a pleasure to speak to, and also being so willing to advocate and support the event. I appreciate that so much. And to everybody that's out there listening, we came here tonight to talk about this event, which of course is targeted directly for women, empowering them, helping them to return to a state of life that's happy and healthy, and allows them to be able to care for themselves and their families in a way that they can have integrity and dignity at the end of the day. So here in this particular event, we are going to be empowering, we're going to be sharing, we're going to be supporting, and we are going to be loving on each other as a group of sisters together. A lot of us don't have support systems. So my goal with this event, and that includes myself, Napasha Dadi, I'm gonna be surprised how much of they are my support system. you know,
Oh
men-
wow.
like mental
I'm
health
honored.
wise,
You're one of the darkest minds of the light, and I like how you added it to your music.
right. Because I gotta make sure where you've affected, where
I love
I've
you.
thought
Thank you.
about you at. So
Oh,
yeah, definitely. You and of course definitely Sarnetta, you guys
Lynetta.
been an inspirational factor. I really don't watch TV at all, so if I don't see one of your shows coming on, I practically can go the whole day without watching anything. So I'm definitely grateful to you guys for supporting not only this event, supporting the music, allowing us to, be able to just be a part of this history that y'all are making as a couple and on your individual channels, just
Love
the
you.
strides and the moves that you're making, because you got your own different things going on and you connect with people in other ways. So I appreciate you being willing to bring me into that circle as well. And like I said, to everyone out there, this event isn't just for women. This event is just for women, but there are going to be other things coming up to talk about the families as well as men. But when this event goes down, it is April 19th through the 21st. It is a 3-day camping trip, 2 nights. We are going to be at Coble's Landing in Polkton, North Carolina. If anybody is interested, and did feel free to email me at healingbyk@gmail.com. Shoot in the subject, just notate that you guys you saw me on Napah Shadah's podcast here this evening. And if you're interested in coming, then I'll definitely have a special discounted price for you guys and your tickets, to be
How
able
do they know I don't mean to jump in. How would they? How do they? What are they? Is there a code that they give you to get a discount?
Well, I do have an Eventbrite page connected to the event.
Now is that on
But
here?
for basically what I have a, you can go through the Eventbrite. Lord, I can't get it out.
Is that
Event,
on the flyer? Oh, I see it. It
yes,
is.
that is the link that's at the bottom of the flyer. Or you can contact me directly, because what I have been doing because of the outpouring of some of the women that have reached out to me about going, but can't necessarily afford to, pay for it. So I've been giving, adjusted discounts, and they just come through me directly. I've been allowing people to do two payment options, split payment, so that they can be able to make it more feasible for them to be able to be there. Um, Especially if they're like bringing their daughter with them or something like that. So, if you really want to come and you're having an issue financially, definitely still reach out. I may be able to work something out with you that still allows you to come and get the experience, and facilitate that healing you need, which is the goal of this event. I'm not doing this for the income, because real talk, everything that's came in is going right back out.
Right back in.
Yeah, I'm not making any profit really off of this particular event. There's a lot of things I've come out my own pocket and paid for, just because I want to make sure that this event happens, and that these women are able to really get what they need out of it, including my own mother, including my own daughter, including, the other sisters that are going to be bringing themselves and their daughters with them. I want to make sure that everybody can actually really, really get something out of this event, have an enjoyable, relaxing moment, and just really, 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 really be able to dive into self with a sisterhood to support you at the same time. So feel free once again to reach out to me if anybody is interested, or if you just have any questions, or if you need someone to talk to. Again, I am here as Coach K of Healing by K. You can look me up on Facebook. I am also on Instagram. You can, it's Healing by K LLC. Pretty much anywhere you can look me up under that title, on Facebook, YouTube. I have a Healing by K, and I have another channel actually via what is that, TikTok? I'm still trying to get used to using TikTok. I have another channel via TikTok that's called Let's Talk About It K. And on Let's Talk About It K, I do a lot of talking about mental health concerns, different family issues. We just talk about it. It's free, kind of open forum that I'm doing with that. And Let's Talk About It K is also on YouTube as well. So definitely feel free
Oh,
to.
that's your YouTube channel.
Yes, ma'am. I have it on YouTube, and I also connected
Can you
to
share?
Facebook.
You said a lot. Who has a
Let's
wrench?
talk about
Your
it.
husband has a wrench. Drop those links, please.
Yeah, let's talk about it. KAY on
And now,
YouTube.
is that a talk show?
It is my kind of like my little small version of a podcast where I'm just
Oh,
kind
you
of
haven't
dealing
asked
with.
me on.
Well, I haven't. I'll be honest
I'm
with you.
just
I'm
teasing you,
still.
girl.
No,
I'm
but I
joking.
want to go live. I just haven't went to that level yet. So I've just kind of been doing pre-videos, recording them and then loading them. I
Okay.
haven't really got to the actually setting it up that way, because I haven't been able to secure time to really focus on a regular show date.
I hear you. Yeah.
So
Well, whenever you're ready, I'd love to be a guest. And I also have to we still have to bring you on the cam up, and we have to bring Genesis on the cam up.
yes, ma'am.
Woo.
Well, whenever y'all are ready, and just let me know. But again, I appreciate y'all so much for
I
being
appreciate you
on
and your
tonight,
husband.
for allowing me to share this event, share my experience, and letting y'all get to know Lady Keair, in a totally different way, as Coach K, which is really, I love music. I've been doing it my whole life, but I do have a passion for healing. I love holistic healing and holistic wellness, and I enjoy helping people deal with matters of the spirit. So if your
Wow.
spirit is not at peace, if you're feeling a little disturbed, call me. We're gonna figure that out.
I love it. Absolutely love Coach K. I love Lady Keair. And of
Yeah.
course, your husband, the family that you are, the family that you've become. And I want to play your music. So I know some people might not have been here in the beginning. You can either stick around or see your way self out. I know you it's
Yes,
late
ma'am.
and your mom. Go ahead and but I'm gonna
Yeah,
play.
look, I gotta get up to get
I
these
know. I'm gonna
school.
play. I'm not gonna play Source Up or Shut Up, or I'm gonna play the Born Black. I love it. I love you so much. And yes, peace to you.
And I'll get some more music that we haven't necessarily that we ain't got locked into YouTube TV. I mean YouTube music, because as long as it's not on YouTube Music, then it can be played. But anything that's on YouTube Music, we get y'all flagged.
And they act crazy. YouTube, don't get mad at me. They act crazy with my channel. I play a little. You know the music we played the other night, Genesis? Right. They sent me a long email. Your video is not playing in so and so country.
All you gotta do is cut out the part where we played the music.
But that was the fun part. You even played Bill and all.
It was fun, even though we tried to get around it by playing it on a thing.
They said, I don't think so, Napah. They got me.
Yeah, they're trying to force people basically into licensing. YouTube has where you can get the YouTube license to use certain music or whatever, something like that. But they have a license thing that they have, and that's what that is. They're trying to force people to actually get licenses from.
Yeah, because ASCAP's hitting them up. I'm sure ASCAP's hitting every time you play a song. ASCAP is like, okay, we want our royalties. And
right, they got to be paid for that. Right,
right. And you know what? Even oh my gosh, you said royalties. Oh, the license. Even when you go and get the copyright, like free music, and even you're the artist saying they still want you to put the licensing on it. They want you to list it all. So I get it. People want to get their money.
I can't even play my own music on this thing I got on that I put out. I tried to play my own music. It was like, nope, copyright.
Wow. Let me tell you what YouTube did to me, and I believe you because I am on Esoteric Thoughts interviewing somebody. I used the video from Esoteric Thoughts, and YouTube had the nerve to give me a copyright warning thingy. I was like, why not? That's me on it. So anyway, we all know what's going on with the legalities of things, but I want to get back to you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Bless you once again. Now, without further ado, let me go ahead and play your song.
I was born black, I'ma die black. Oh, Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time.
This is the sister and her husband. They do all the music, all the production.
Yep.
Amazing. I love you.
AfuNation.com, folks. Feel free to check out more. We're all over.
All right, here we go.
Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find it. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team.
Is it me or is it sounding different? It sounded like it went fast. Napah, stop. Let it play.
I was born black, I'ma die black. Oh, Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find it. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team.
Worldwide.
This African team, this African team.
To control back, so I'm scratch that. Trying to get ahead, so I map that. Yeah, I'm tapping in, it's a Scott that. And we ain't no kin unless you African. I'm so loyal to the victor, go to sports. You running out of time, melanin rules the world. Trying to get what's mine, so you know I'm snatching pearls. Staying on my grind, AfuNation in your world. Shimmer when I shine, lead in the line. Yeah, I know I'm fine, got blessed from behind. Sun kissed in the morning course, hanging down my spine. Linked to the source, so I'm rooted to the vines. Indie but major, we hot like potatoes. Free in the slaves, they cannot contain us. African power, they never can shame us. Taking what's ours, who cares if they blame us?
I was born black, I'ma die black. Oh, Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find it. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. Worldwide, this African bruh. This African team. Black burner, call me Nat Turner. I've been on the run, so please don't push me to murder. I might take it one step further, cause I'm a cosmic observer. Since I've been young, been an earner. So toxic, I just might burn you with it. AfuNation getting deeper than your average teacher. They beat you with false information, this country eat you. Jack Reacher, never been a preacher, but you in the game. I can take you out the bleacher, ain't no need to be in shop. You a real black speaker from MMA back to the side. In LA, we gon' need ya. Boots up, it's time to troop up. Born black, I'ma die black, that's the truth, yup. We want seats at political tables. You can keep your Grammys, just stop telling fables. Cause we young black owners of our own labels. Self-publishers, writers, producers, we won't pay you. I was born black, I'ma die black. Oh, Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find it. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team. I was born black, I'ma die black. Top of Hollywood, give me my soul back. Feel like I'm living in a time trap. Searching for the hidden meaning, I'ma find it. This original team, real rap team, worldwide team, we a worldwide team. This African team, this African team.
Wow. Thank you so much. Peace to the darkest minds of the light.
Yeah.
Nation, Lady Keair, Coach K, Women of the Wild, Women in the Wild. I need, I just saw the thing, but y'all, we're gonna get those flyers out, and I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you so much for joining us. Peace of darkness of the light, those who held on. And you know what? Share the stream, share it, because it's amazing. Damn, it was good. So peace, everybody. Have a great night. Peace.